views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
To another episode of Meetings of the Minds in partnership with BronxNet Television. Mid-June is when the New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce hosts its biggest networking event of the year. This event is done in partnership with the 116th Street Festival and Sofrito Magazine, who hosts our food tasting station. These segments are specifically to highlight our restaurant owners who take the time out to be with us and allow us to taste some of their delectables. Since we cannot meet in person, it was important for us to still honor their support by speaking with them. More importantly, how we can become actual customers and support their business, because it will take all of us to make sure we thrive, especially during these challenging times. So please welcome Daniel Garcia, owner of Salsa Caterers. Hi, Daniel. How are you?
Great. Yourself?
It's so good to be with you. First of all, ¿cómo está la familia?
Thank God everybody is healthy and sound, first and foremost, right? So blessed for that. Thank you. And yours?
No, everyone is healthy. And strong, and we're definitely blessed in that department. So thank you so much for asking. Daniel, we'll get right to it. Tell us about Salsa Caterers.
Okay, great. First I want to take the opportunity to thank the New York City Hispanic Chambers of Commerce, Host Sulma, and Nick, and also BronxNet for doing this. It's really important to us businesses, and it gives us an opportunity to come back from COVID. So, first and foremost, thank you very much. Much appreciated. As Suma said, my name is Daniel Garcia. I'm the president and CEO of Salsa Caterers and Special Events. We've been around celebrating 30 years this coming October, so we're excited about that and blessed that we're still here to get to there, right? So Salsa has three service divisions. One is catering and special events, which we're well known from since 1990. And another one is Salsa Express, which is a Latino food concept that was launched out of Yankee Stadium and does corporate cafeteria food sales. And then we have a food service division called Salsa Food Services, which does a lot of community meals. So for senior centers, shelters, reenter centers, things like that. We predominantly service the tri-state area. We've done all northeastern region states. We were born in the South Bronx, which is a place I was raised in. My family was my parents are actually from East Harlem. We've been a community business that's been, we've been to the Met, we've been to Gracie Mansion, Governor's Mansions. We've catered for icons such as Mark Anthony, Goya Foods, and our local community with not-for-profit events such as the festival for you guys and weddings and Sweet 16s. So that's in the right.
Yeah, so Daniel, what I'm hearing is you're a very busy man with a successful business that is obviously carried by a man with integrity, such as yourself, and your team is incredibly amazing. You guys are awesome. Daniel, there is a lot that you bring back to the community, right? So it's important for people like you to lead us in this, and we need you. We need you to survive, and we need your business to thrive. What has it been like ever since COVID hit? I mean, did you get SBAs or PPPs? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got it. So, my experience since COVID hit, our sales pretty much plummeted by 95%. So, a large part of what we do is catering. And, as the shutdown came and, we had our clients having to cancel, and of course, nobody was going to be doing any booking. So we saw 100% of our catering business go away. On the corporate cafeteria side, there was a close down. Of course, people weren't going to work. So that business, 100% of it went away. We were left with a short period of time with our community meal services for senior citizens, which we've been doing for a long time. However, in this, with the city and its wisdom, it made a pivot to have those meals serviced by a centralized caterer. So any vendor like myself who's been around the community for many, many years and had those relationships, we lost that business. So that brought my sales down to like, maybe, that brought us to a state of only 95% of our business. We had some business from rain.
Let me stop you right there. What is the centralized caterer? And is this somebody that directly does business with the government? Like, this is the first we hear of this.
Oh, good question. Well, actually what the city did was, and in some cases, you had caterers who, the way they structured it could do, let's say, I don't know, 50,000 meals or 25 or something like that. So you had caterers that may have in their past done upscale and luxury business. And now, since the only game in town is prepared meals and community services, started to do that, right? So the city moved the meal services from vendors like us to a centralized service that, let's say, serviced all of the Bronx, or all of Brooklyn, all of Manhattan. So in that move, that pretty much put us out of business. So, and from my understanding, there were some centers that cooked for themselves and they couldn't anymore, so they had to do that. But there was no consideration for keeping us alive. So talk about pivoting. So we had to figure out what our pivots are going to be.
Yeah, and we've heard that across the board, Daniel. It's really, I don't want to use the word. It's really upsetting because first, when the SBA loan came out through the banks, they took care of the bigger businesses. And to know, even at the level of catering, businesses such as yourselves were still being overlooked when they had an opportunity to really help you and give you some of those businesses. So it's really upsetting. What have you been able to do to even, I guess, come above that, Danny? Is there anything at all?
Yeah, and I want to say in our case, like, we had the experience to maintain the work and do what they shifted it to, where those caterers had to learn and didn't go perfect, but it went the way it went. So what did we have to do? I mean, some of it maybe is luck and blessing. I'm not sure. I mean, but one of our clients is DOH, Department of Health itself. And they happen to have been searching for a caterer to service their employees on a daily basis for the staff that are working on the virus. So we were contracted by them to do that, and that pretty much gave us some breath. So with the PPP, and now here comes the SBA funding that helped. I applied to the PPP. My first round, we didn't make it. All the money had run out. And then, I had an experience with Capital One, who I've been with forever, and it was horrible. The whole big bank thing. I can't wait to pivot. And my pivot in there is I'm going to go to Ponce Bank. It's a community bank. I could get Madeline Marquez on the phone. There's actually a body. With the Capital One, talk to the branch. With the branch, talk to online. It was horrible. Anyhow, since I'm a Goldman Sachs 10,000 small business alumni, they had created some resources for us, knowing what was happening with the bigger banks. So they had a CDC partner that I went to. They processed me within 1 day. And then when the second round came, within days, the money hit the bank. So that was really helpful. With that, I was able to bring my team back, prepare for the DOH contract. And also, there's just some updating we needed to do from being in business 30 years to get ready for our future. So we were able to do that as well. So it was very key for us. Shortly thereafter, I applied for the EIDL, and that came in. That was a seamless process. That was good. I was able to do that on my own. And with those funds, we were able to catch up to rent, catch up to insurance, utilities, just some main expenses to be in business, to stay in business, and then having the funding to pay for our purchases. So all of that was timely, you know, and perfect for us.
This is great. I hear partnerships, education, resources.
Yes.
All at once, and the energy and the courage to just go through this process. I feel like with all the different businesses you have to be creative in each and every aspect of them. And what is your future? What does your future look like?
Yeah, so interestingly enough, after July 31st, I can't tell you with surety like before what's going to happen. I can only say that things have been showing up and happening. We don't know which direction the city's going to take with senior meals or not, or other meals or not. Corporate cafeterias probably will not open up until God knows 6 months to 12 months. Catering, we're not going to see any huge events like we used to for God knows a year maybe. I know some people in the business, like event planners, they're planning for 2 years out, right? So, so not exactly, but I know that things will come. We've been around a while. We have a reputation, and definitely every day I'm on the phone. You know, I'm talking to, I have competitors. We talk like hey, how you doing? What are you doing? What are you hearing? And we share. We share resources. We share, what grants are out there and so on. So it's definitely, like you said, staying plugged in, using partnerships in all kinds of ways. We're thinking about some pivots. If for some reason we don't pick up more contracts, which is really the bulk of the business that's around now, we've been getting we start to get calls now.
Like that ring.
We're starting to get calls from our catering clients to do small events. So so what you're doing now is awesome, right? It tells people, because we're getting calls, are you guys still in business? Are you still alive? And unfortunately for some businesses, they're they didn't make it, right, to be, and some might not be opening. So I'm grateful that we're here to have the opportunities. But yeah, I think we see a lot of catering, small jobs in our future.
Good. How can we help you?
Thank you for asking that question. So just what you're doing now is awesome, because people will see it and say, oh, thank God, Salsa's still alive. People knowing that we're open, we're in business, they can call us. We're starting to get calls, whether it's for business or home. We can guide customers through how to service, whether it should be grab and go, individualized plated, or if they're doing buffet, how to do that in a way that doesn't create spread of the virus. Anyone who knows of someone that, knows of a community program that needs meals and is looking for a vendor, we're here, the general catering. So yeah, people knowing we're here and calling us, we're still here.
How do we get in contact with you, Danny?
Sure. Our phone number is 718-716-2020, 718-716-2020, or admin, ADMIN, at salsacaterers.com.
No, it has been such a pleasure just speaking with you, and your candidness and your realness with the experience is important. We are so proud of the fact that you are just one of those examples of, you just keep going and you reinvent and you make it work no matter what. I think that's the Bronx and East Harlem combination thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So we appreciate you for being that example for us. I want to ask you one more thing. We've been dealing a lot with, of course, social injustice. Is there anything you'd like to share with both the Latino community and our African-American brothers and sisters?
Yeah, it's something that keeps me up at night. I can't sleep. It's really, it's a great time in that the conversation is worldwide, right, about social justice and equality. So I'm hopeful that a lot of good will come out of this. I think it's a time where we can take action, legislatively or however it's going to be, to make the change. This weekend we're going to go marching with the kids. There's a family march in Manhattan, and we're going to participate that way, right? Soulfully. And then there's a participation on the legislative level that creates actual systemic change. So I would say have heart, let's be generous with each other. Let's be kind with each other. We all are looking, from this, to participate in different ways. And, it's a personal opinion of mine, if we're going to ever get the sides that see it differently to shift, we have to be able to remain in the conversation, right? To share a difference, to share our experiences that maybe can create a shift. Some will never shift, but I believe many who just don't know and hear something different can shift.
Thank you so much, Danny. We appreciate you. I wish you blessings to you and your family, of course. And we're here. Anytime you need us, please consider us a resource.
Thank you. And before I go, if I could just say, I just want to a big shout out to my staff. You know, they're essential. They've been in the game and stayed in the game from the beginning, and they're wonderful, beautiful people. My family for support. You again, the community, and you know, definitely as far as salsa is concerned, Black Lives Matter.
Amen. Thank you, brother.